If you are struggling to get restaurant clients, you've tried all the spammy and crazy tricks in the book, cold calling, cold emailing restaurants, and nothing is working, you are in the right spot because I've discovered a new way to get restaurant clients called an Eats feature on my Eats page. And I'm gonna talk you through what to do before, during, and after the feature so that you can do it like a pro. Even if you're nervous on camera, even if you're like, I hate being on camera, trust me, I've got your back. You're gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna walk you through step by step. Now, you may be asking, what the heck is an Eats feature? What's an Eats page? Well, it's a new way that I've discovered to get restaurant clients where you go in and do a quick Facebook Live interview on a Facebook page that I call an Eats page. Mine's called Casey Good Eats, and I go around and interview restaurants all around Kansas City. And people have been asking me about, how do you do it? What's the process? And if you're interested in getting even more in depth, I've created a 5-day challenge. It's pre-recorded, but it's gonna walk you through step by step, setting up the page, contacting owners with scripts, how to do the feature. I go even more in depth than what I'm gonna give you here today, and then how to start turning that into pitch meetings where you're gonna be able to bring them on as clients. It's only $97. I'll drop a link below so that you can learn more about it. So let's talk about it. What is it like? Well, before you go and do the Eats feature, all right, it's very important to do a couple things. Number one is we wanna have a conversation with the owner to plan exactly what's gonna happen. This isn't something where you're just gonna show up at the restaurant and say, ta-da, I'm here, let's start filming. Not how it works. What we do is have a quick conversation, kind of like maybe, I use the dating analogy all the time, kind of like when you first start maybe talking to somebody and you are just like texting, or maybe you have a conversation, you haven't even gone on a date yet. And that's really what this is. And what we're doing is planning our first date. I'll give you an example. I'm getting ready to go do a feature at a restaurant here tomorrow. And the other day when I was chatting with the owner, we came up with a plan. Once he said, yes, I want to be featured, we came up with a plan of what we're going to do. They are going to make one of their popular dishes, and he's going to show every single step how they make the food. And so we planned it. And they also want to show a new patio they just built. So what we're going to do is we're going to show the food and then take a tour of the restaurant, the patio. We came up with a plan of what to do. All right, so that's very important, number one, because they need to know what's happening. You can't just show up and say, hey, we're going live. They're not going to like that very much. Number two is doing some background research on who they are. And this is very important for a couple of reasons. Again, I like to personalize. I want to build a real relationship with owners. And one thing that really helps is doing some research about them. Going on their website, and you can do things like, do they have their social media accounts linked on their website? Do they have online ordering? Do they have the Facebook pixel installed? If you go look at their social media, does it look like someone is they've got a professional marketing agency that's posting for them? Or are they posting just sporadically or really terrible pictures and you can see some opportunities? But I always like to find one thing to compliment them on. One thing. Even if their stuff is trash, even if their website is terrible and it looks like it's from the 90s and their social media, they haven't posted on it for 2 years, find one thing to compliment them on because it's going to come up here in a minute. All right. Number three is, get your equipment ready. Now, this does not take a lot of equipment. All right. I use my iPhone. I have a little handheld selfie stick, and that's it. That's all I have. I don't have fancy equipment. I don't have lights. Don't need any of it, all right? Because the Facebook Live, it's so quick and real and raw, doesn't take you any time, doesn't take the owner any time. So you don't need fancy equipment. If you have a cell phone that was made in the last 5 years, you've got everything you need to start doing an Eats feature today, all right? So have your equipment ready, be ready to go. Then during the feature, all right, when I arrive, I like to do the intro and start chatting with the owner, build a relationship. Don't just go in there and be like, okay, let's go live. No, have a conversation. And that's where you come back to this and you drop a compliment. Something nice about it, something that you like, hey, oh my gosh, I saw that picture that you posted of your burger the other day. It looks so good. Be genuine, be real, but give them a compliment. Make them feel good about themselves, all right? That's so important. Just like when you go on a date, you compliment people, right? Same idea. Then during the feature, right before the feature, we will walk through it, all right? And so we know, let's say they're making a pizza, all right? I'll say, okay, where are you gonna be? And they'll say, okay, I'm gonna start here, I'm gonna do the dough, and I'm gonna slide the pizza down, we're gonna put the sauce on, I'm gonna slide it over here, put the toppings, blah, blah, blah. All right, then I'm gonna take it over here and put it in the oven, okay? And so walk through it so that when you go live, you know exactly what to do. And so this is gonna be during the feature. And then number 3 is go live. Okay, and like I said, all you have to do is click that live button on Facebook, and you're live. There's no editing, there's no do-overs, and I tell restaurant owners no do-overs. And really, it is better because I found when you pre-record it, they'll say, "Oh, can we stop? I need to do another take." No. This is live. It's real. And people are very forgiving if something is live. They can tell that it's real. It doesn't have to look scripted and be perfect. In fact, it's even better, all right? So we'll do the feature. And I always like to start with the food. That is the hero. That is what people want to see. They don't want to see you talk. They don't want to see the restaurant owner probably talk. They want to see the food. And they want to see it being made. And that is what people love. Early on when I was doing these Eats features, it was just like me talking to an owner. We were just like standing there talking. And it was super boring. And what I noticed was when the watch patterns, the watch time of people, it just like dropped off in the first like 10 seconds. People started watching it and then boom, it went down like this. But when we got into start doing the food and I started saying, okay, let's just start with the food. Let's show how the food's being made. Talk me through that story. And instead of like, if this is watch time, instead of like the watch time being like that, that's what it was before. Instead, the watch time became like this, which is more of what you want, right? Because people are like, oh, what's this gonna look like? How's this pizza gonna turn out? All right, you're telling a story. People are gonna be engaged longer. So that when I arrive at the restaurant, that's what I do. All right, then after the feature, all right, have a conversation with the owner again. And I always like to do 2 things. Number 1, tell them they did a great job, all right? And what I found is a lot of owners are like, oh my gosh, I've never done videos before. And afterwards say, oh my gosh, you were so good. You did awesome on camera. And 99% of the time, they are awesome on camera. And I will tell them, you need to start doing more videos. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I know I need to do it. And then that's a time where you can drop in. Well, yeah, I work with other restaurants and I've helped other owners, and maybe you give them a tip of something you could do and encourage them. Now, that is a couple things. It encourages them, they're gonna feel good about themselves, but also you're dropping that little hint that you do restaurant marketing, all right? And they're gonna start to believe you and trust you, the know, like, and trust factor, all right? And then the next thing is next step, all right? Just like when you're dating someone, I'm going to use this analogy over and over again. What's the next step? You go on a first date. Hey, would it be okay if maybe we go get dinner next time? Maybe could I call you, tomorrow? Something like that. So the next step that I encourage is, hey, could I reach out to you in a couple days and show you the results of what happened? All right. How many people watched? How much engagement it got? That is the next step. It's low pressure. It's not like, hey, let's go get dinner. It's, hey, can I touch base with you in a couple of days? Now, what comes after that, again, is part of what we talk about in the Eats Page Challenge. Again, link below if you want to check that out. Then, after the conversation, when I'm done, when I get back home, I share it in Facebook groups, in like local foodie groups. All right, here in Kansas City, there's several. One has like 50,000 people in it. When I share it in there, it gets a ton of engagement. And that's where most of the watch comes from. People don't watch it live. They watch it back as a replay. So I share it so it gets even more views, all right? And then this is something I think is really, really important, is I send a handwritten thank you note, okay? And what does that do? All right. That tells you that, hey, I appreciate you. I respect you, and I am in this to have a real relationship. It's not just where I'm going to be spamming you with stuff all the time. And and at this point, I haven't even asked to work together yet. Haven't done that at all yet. But the thank you note goes a long way for people appreciating you. All right. When's the last time you got a thank you note, a handwritten note? Been a while, probably, right? Nobody does it anymore. If anything, it's through email or texting, but handwritten thank you note goes a long way. So this is really important also. So this process is what I repeat over and over and over and over again to get restaurant clients. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, but this system works. It'll help you bring on restaurant clients faster than any cold calling technique. And can you see how much easier it is than sending out those cold emails and just getting ignored all the time and feeling terrible because nobody's getting back to you or paying attention to you. So again, if you're interested in learning more about how to do the entire process, I go way more in depth in my Eats Page Challenge. I'll drop a link below for you to check that out. So thank you again. If you have any questions, feel free, drop a comment or reach out to me. Would love to have a chat with you. Hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.